Day 942. Just got off this group call. So I get on the call. There's maybe 15 people on there. And the lady who runs it is the lady who interviewed me for the podcast. And one of the other people on there is one of her friends who's also a pastor who saw me speak a year ago when she saw me speak. And back then I remember having a conversation with him that I don't believe in Jesus, but I'm trying to. I'm getting there. And he was really encouraging and just a really cool, down-to-earth guy. And so he was on there, and she had this guest come on and just share a little bit, who wrote a book about fasting. And he was talking about fasting, and I don't know why. She's like, does anyone want to share about fasting? And she's like, Chris, maybe you have a testimony around that. And I was like, what? How does she even, I never talked to her about fasting at all. And I was like, actually, my greatest testimony comes from fasting. And then I told the story of my mom and her getting delivered from addiction. And people were in tears. People were blown away. And I just went for it. I just told it with so much passion. I had the backstory laid out. I was like, if I'm gonna deliver this, I'm gonna deliver it with some fire. And yeah, it was crazy. Look how beautiful. God is so incredible. And yeah, it was so impactful. People were like, what? They were blown away. And I was like, thank you, God, for giving me an opportunity to share my faith and encourage. And yeah, it was super powerful, impactful. And then we get towards the end, and I just feel this calling to just share the before and after picture of my mom with the group. It was like God was showing me someone needs to be encouraged. Someone needs to see that. And so we get to the end, and I'm putting off, I don't want to interrupt. I don't know the right time to interject. And I don't want it to be all about me or anything like that or whatever. And just the enemy just trying to stop me from being obedient to God. And she's like, okay, well, we're going to end in prayer. And I was like, I'm sorry. Is there any way, can I just share the before and after picture? I just feel like God is really calling me to do this. I just feel like there's someone here that needs to see this, and they need the encouragement and they need the hope. And I share the before and after picture. And then I just start preaching you are, the word says, you are the light of the world. We have to love people to Jesus. We are the bridge, and we just got to keep loving them. And at some point, Jesus is going to meet them on the bridge. And, he said, you are the light of the world. A city set on a hill cannot be hidden, nor would you light a lamp and hide it under a basket. And I said, my mom, you can see the light in her, and she was hidden. That light was hidden under the basket of drugs and alcohol and addiction. And so the people in your life that you love that are struggling, they are the light of the world, but their light is just hidden under the basket. Maybe the basket is drugs, maybe it's alcohol, maybe it's something else, whatever it is. But just honor the light in them, see the light in them, speak life over them, speak light over them. And it's crazy because when I went to share my screen, I could only see one person, and it was the lady hosting it who interviewed me for the podcast. And it was just incredible. She was the only one I needed to see because she was in tears. And then I remembered her brother is struggling with that. She messaged me. The whole reason she reached out is she heard my testimony that I did about my mom. I did a live or something like that. And she heard it, and she reached out and said, yeah, my brother, is struggling with that. I'm pretty sure it's her brother. And so it was just crazy that God called me to do that. And I'm proud of myself for having the courage to do it and going for it and doing it with passion and just taking the stage and preaching. And it's so crazy that out of all the people, her video is the only one that was on that screen when I was talking. So I was looking at her the whole time, and she was in tears. And I just it hit me wow, that was for her. So I'm actually gonna go tell her that so she knows. So yeah, amazing.